Welcome back to the Explainer team. All right, grab a seat. Today, we're stepping right into the locker room to hand you, the absolute beginner, your ultimate tactical chess playbook. Look, if you've ever stared at a chessboard and felt totally overwhelmed by the infinite possibilities, just take a breath. I'm going to be your coach today. We are going to simplify that board by focusing on the absolute most powerful, game-changing moves that will get you out of trouble and put your opponent right on the ropes. Let's get into it. Here is our game plan for today's Explainer. First, your tactical chess playbook. 2. Essential weapons, forks and pins. 3. Expanding your tactical arsenal. 4. How panic ruins your defense. And finally, your winning game plan.
Starting right off with Section 1, your tactical chess playbook.
So, what exactly are we talking about here? Well, tactics are literally the weapons of chess. If strategy is your grand, long-term plan for the game, tactics are those sharp, short-term combinations that instantly win material, launch a surprise attack on the king, or just create a decisive advantage out of nowhere. Listen, as a beginner, you do not need to see 20 moves ahead. You really don't. You just need to recognize these specific, short-term patterns. These are the tools that actually win games.
Moving on to Section 2, Essential Weapons, Forks and Pins. Okay, first up in your arsenal is the fork. Simply put, a fork is when a single piece of yours attacks 2 or more targets at the exact same time. And the absolute best piece for this? The knight. Because of its sneaky L-shaped jumping movement, a knight can suddenly land on a square where it's attacking, say, your opponent's king and queen simultaneously. Why does this work so well? Because humans fundamentally panic when forced to defend multiple threats at once. It forces your opponent to make a really painful choice, and it usually results in them losing a very valuable piece.
Now this brilliantly illustrates our next essential weapon, the pin. A pin is when an enemy piece literally cannot move because something incredibly valuable is sitting right behind it in the line of fire. Rooks, bishops, queens, they are amazing at this, and there are 2 types you need to know. An absolute pin means the immobilized piece has the king directly behind it. Moving it is actually against the rules of chess. A relative pin, on the other hand, means there's a queen or a rook behind it. Technically, sure, they could move the pinned piece, but it would be an absolute disaster for them. The whole goal here is to completely paralyze your opponent's pieces.
All right, Section 3, Expanding your tactical arsenal. You've got the basics down, so here is your expanded tactical matrix. Now, I know, it looks like a ton of jargon, but these fall into 3 really simple categories: board clearers, sneaky attacks, and traps and mates. Don't stress about memorizing the fancy names right now. As your coach, I just want you to grasp the core concepts. Board clearers include deflection, forcing a defending piece away from its job, or removing the defender. Under sneaky attacks, you've got the German Zwischenzug. That literally means intermediate move. Instead of an obvious recapture, you throw in a stronger, totally unexpected check first to break their plan. You've also got the discovered attack, where moving one piece uncovers a hidden attack from the piece behind it. Boom! 2 threats at once. And finally, traps and mates. Think of the smothered mate, where a sneaky knight checkmates a king that is tragically trapped by its very own pieces. Or the rare but totally devastating windmill, which uses repeated discovered checks to just gobble up the opponent's material.
And please, do not forget these crucial pressure tactics. A double attack is exactly what it sounds like, attacking 2 things at once. Our friend the fork actually lives under this umbrella. Then you have the sacrifice. You intentionally give up a piece to gain the initiative. As a coach, I love sacrifices because they create instant panic in the opponent. You can also look for overloading, where you just give an enemy defender way too many jobs until it snaps. And my absolute personal favorite, Zugzwang. This usually pops up in the endgame, and it is this beautiful, agonizing situation where absolutely any move your opponent makes actively ruins their position. If they could just skip their turn, they'd be fine, but chess rules say they have to move.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 4, how panic ruins your defense. Listen closely because this is the biggest hurdle for absolute beginners. Panic equals tunnel vision. When you face sudden pressure or multiple threats on the board, the natural human response is just to freak out. Your field of vision literally narrows. You get tunnel vision on just one terrifying attacking idea, and as a result, you completely miss simple, totally obvious defensive escapes. Or worse, you leave your own pieces just sitting there completely undefended.
The truth is, tactics work because they exploit our very human flaws. Look at these classic beginner mistakes, all caused by panic. Overlooking active threats, panicking under sudden pressure, We get so hyper-focused on our own grand attacking plan that we completely miss hidden or discovered attacks coming right at us. And there's a massive one right at the bottom of this list, not giving your king escape squares. This is exactly what leads to the embarrassing back rank mate, where an enemy rook just swoops down to your final row and your king is trapped behind its own pawns because you panicked and forgot to give it a little breathing room.
Let's fix that. Section 5. Your winning game plan. All right, here is your daily training regimen as my student. Number 1. Solve chess puzzles every single day. Puzzles are just tactics in isolation. They build up your pattern recognition. Number 2. Study mating patterns so you can see them coming from a mile away. Number 3. Boldly analyze your blunders. I know, it hurts the ego, but you have to see exactly where you started to panic. Number 4. Play slower games. Blitz chess is super fun, but it breeds panic. Slow down so you can actually use your brain. And number 5, always look for forcing moves. That means checks, captures, and direct threats.
If you want to play well, you really need to emulate the grandmasters. Believe it or not, they don't just stare at the board waiting for magical inspiration. They run through a strict mental checklist to break out of that tunnel vision. Ask yourself, what changed? After the opponent moves, what new lines or diagonals just opened up? What is undefended? Are there pieces just hanging out there waiting to be taken? And what is my opponent threatening? If you force yourself to ask these 3 questions, you'll actually see the whole board, not just the one little corner you're stressing over.
To wrap up this explainer, I'm going to leave you with this final, absolutely vital question. Call it the golden rule of tactical chess. Before every single move you make, you must pause, take a deep breath, and ask, what is my opponent attacking? Seriously, that single habit will massively, instantly improve your game. So team, if you internalize this habit and master the basic weapons we covered today, how quickly do you think you'll start dominating the board and leaving your opponents in total panic? Get out there, keep your cool, and I will see you in the next explainer.
Subscribe, like and share to Chess Lovers for more such chess content.